not just cooking, the process. So we've done some preparation. On that end of things, we've got our nice hot cup of tea or maybe some water to keep us hydrated as we keep going. We've lit our candle. We're feeling that Agni, that digestive fire lit. We've got the mood set. And maybe if we're cooking with rice, lentils, dry beans, we're taking those items, the amount that we'll need to cook with, soaking them in water, ideally overnight, but maybe even just a couple hours to get the process of breaking them down started, to make sure that digestion is optimal when they do get cooked and everything flows through our system in the most ideal and digestible way. So that's a little bit part of our preparation, but becomes part of the process. Before we get into a few more tips, one that might stand out right away is your mood. Whatever goes into your food comes through you and your process. So acknowledge how you're feeling. If it's been a chaotic day, if there's some tension in the household, maybe there's some anger, these things are going to flow through you into what you create. It's prana, it's energy. And something we acknowledge in Ayurveda is those bits that actually go from us within and out. And so if you're feeling not so great, that's okay. As my Ayurveda teacher once said, just get the pizza. So that's first and foremost, we'll kind of set that aside. But if it's not an ideal situation for cooking, and not every day is, that's okay. Do what's convenient, do what takes the load off of you until you can come back, be in a better place, and maybe it's the next day that we dive into the meal prep and cooking once again. So we'll just throw that little tidbit out there, a little humor for you. Otherwise, as we start to get into the process of cooking, one thing that I certainly have struggled with and continue to have my ups and downs with is devices, right? We use our devices for everything, communication, entertainment. Oftentimes that's where I store all the recipes I like to reference. So having technology, phones and iPads and other items around is pretty normal. Encouragement to set those devices aside so that you can really dive into the process with a clear head and to really be mindful of where you're at. Things can get burned, things can get a little out of hand. You might forget where you are in the process just because of those distractions. Now, obviously, if you need your device to pull up a recipe or to help you along with the process, maybe you're playing some great music, to fuel you during the whole thing. Awesome. By all means, have your device handy. Just a little note to maybe catch yourself if in one of those lulls, as maybe you're having something come to a boil or having something roasting in the oven and there's not a lot else going on, that maybe you don't reach for the entertainment for the device, but really stay present with the process. So it's a little challenge I'm going to throw at you because I think most of us may actually find it to be a challenge. Maybe try it in one of these meals you make in the next week or two. To catch yourself, see where you're at, as opposed to grabbing the technology during the process. All right, moving on. I made a little mention of music. That's an awesome thing to bring into your process of cooking. It could be listening to one of your favorite streaming services like Spotify. You can always pull up some really lovely mantras. The Mahamrityunjaya mantra as well as the Gayatri mantra are both really awesome mantras to listen to as you cook because they bring in messages of healing, of wellness, of wholeness, as well as the Gayatri mantra specifically brings in energy from the sun, from above, and as we know, warming, heating, Agni, and the fire within. Just those little things that literally that vibrational energy infuses both us and our food. And it may sound hokey, but I say just give it a try. Maybe listen to something that is upbeat, doesn't have to be a mantra. It could be just your favorite album, your favorite song. To keep it light, keep it fun. Cool. All right. Bringing in spices and seasonings. This is one of my favorite parts of this discussion about the process because nearly every recipe we cook has something, salt, pepper, something beyond that. And in Ayurvedic cooking, spices are the thing. So I brought in a couple pieces here to show you. If you don't already have them in your kitchen, they're not an absolute must-have. They're just some really great additions. So when we're working with spices, if you do have the ability and do have them accessible to you in whole form, it's great to have a mortar and pestle to grind spices down manually, or even a small spice grinder. It could be a small coffee grinder. That's something I use a lot to grind spices, nuts, and seeds and other sorts of things to make it really easy. But if you can break down whole spices, you're really getting the essence of the spice and the full value. Another little piece of equipment that I love to have is called a masala daba. And in a masala daba, it holds, underneath its 2 lids for freshness, we've got 7 compartments here for our spices. Now these spices are anything that you find valuable. You don't have to have the ones I have. These are just ones that I like to routinely cook with and that are really great. As you can see, they're open, they're easy to grab. The daba usually even comes with a spoon or 2, about a half teaspoon size, so that you can very liberally pick and choose and add at your disposal what you want to in your dish. And if you want to stick to a recipe and keep it really much more exact using full measuring utensils, go for it. This is just encouraging a little bit of creativity, and this is what I love coming from Indian cooking, as well as an Ayurvedic philosophy and mindset of being creative. I mean, really at the base of it, and allowing yourself to play a little bit, get outside the box. Sometimes when I'm doing rice dishes or dishes like a khichdi, this is a fabulous time to bring in the spices, to switch it up, see how things taste, try something new. And you don't have to have a daba. You could have your standard spices as they come pre-packaged from the store. But I would say in the spice conversation, whether ground fresh or purchased ground, in a container, not in a container, be creative, play a little bit, see what tastes good. And it could be different season to season and dish to dish. So encouraging that season or that style of play. All right, once we start to complete our dish, throwing in maybe a little extra spice, some fresh herbs, a squeeze of lemon or lime, or even a little drizzle of olive oil over top can be a really nice finishing touch. Again, that's a point of play as well, because something might taste good now, maybe a little dill that's fresh, but maybe a little later, maybe a little cilantro would taste good. So as you kind of play with dishes season to season or even week to week, adding a finishing touch can give a little special touch, really, as you're about to eat. Well, once we complete the process, it's time to serve our food, and not just to ourselves, but perhaps to others. So just a little tip, serve others first, let them get started. It's good karma. It's a wonderful Ayurvedic concept of just being in service to others, not servitude, but in being gracious, being giving, presenting folks with our love, literally love on a plate. So just remembering that idea, as well as perhaps blowing out your candle, completing the process here, or maybe you take this for a little ambiance to the table and have it continue with your being part of your process as well. And that's kind of the idea. That's the process. We'll continue on with this series, actually taking it to the dining table, talking you through the eating and dining process. Oh yeah, there's plenty more. So if you dug this, please continue to watch as more videos are offered. For more tips, general discussion, recipes, my food as medicine coaching program, please head to my website at www.radrootfood.com. Keep in touch, get on my e-newsletter list for finding out about upcoming workshops and opportunities to learn and engage and work with me one-on-one. I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Have a good one.